Welcome along, guys, to Limitless DxT coverage of SRM Racing Round 4, the Canadian Grand Prix. I'm here tonight once again with Lee for the second night in a row. How you doing, Lee?
I'm amazing right now, to be honest. It's here in Canada today, so it's one of my favourite tracks, to be honest. I do love this track.
It is one of my favourites as well, to be honest. It should bring up some great racing. I'm not sure if we're waiting for a few other drivers. We've got 15 at the moment. We'll go through the track, shall we, Lee? Very quickly. So 14 turns. Obviously, it's a clockwise circuit, and the lap record is held by Valtteri Bottas in 2019, the last time we were out there, with a 1 minute and 13 seconds. Pretty sure that won't be beaten tonight, but it might well possibly, actually, because these cars are faster than the 2019 predecessors. The track length is 4.361 kilometers and 2.71 miles, so it's quite a short track, Lee. With that long back straight.
Yeah, I mean it is just quite a lot of straights, but it's with a load of chicanes thrown in there and a wee hairpin to measure. So It is quite a fast track. Can carry a lot of momentum through pretty much most of the corners here.
Yeah, it is definitely about that. And we've got the C3, C4 and C5 tyres from hard to soft. So we've got the softest in the range as well, Lee. I think it's a two-stop race and a 50%, shouldn't it be?
I think so, but I mean you still could do like a soft hard, if I remember correctly. I'm not entirely sure on that, but I think it is a soft hard.
I'm not too sure. We'll have to see. I always thought it was a two-stop, but I said we'll have to wait and see about that. I'll just put the link in there. Discord quickly, and what were you going to say? Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say it could just depend on the driver's personal style and the race at the moment, or at that moment, should I say.
So it's looking like, we've got 15 drivers for this race. I'm not sure if we're going to have any more for the feature race. Obviously, we'll just quickly go through the formalities actually of this series. So it is slightly different, almost like LFR's system on a Sunday, which they did actually somewhat steal from SRM. So it's a random start for the qualifying race, and wherever you finish in the qualifying race is where you start for your feature race. The top 10 will start on the as you've got Michael just jumping in at the last second. So we've got 16 drivers, Lee. Yeah, so just jumping in, it's all over the place now. Yeah, so wherever you finish at the end of the qualifying race, you start for the feature race. The top 10 will start on the tyres they finished the previous race on, and if it is a wet end to the race, you'll start on the tyres that you started the race on. If it started dry, nothing to add there, Lee, I don't think.
No, it's an interesting sort of format to use, so it's giving everyone equal chance to get points rather than it just being, the fastest out there. So yeah, I would say it is quite an interesting format. I do like it.
Sorry, Lee. Just bear with me 1 second, mate. Just give me a sec.
That's no worries.
Why don't you do the stand-ins quickly? I'm just doing something a second.
Yeah, that's no worries. So, as you see at the stand-ins at the moment, we've got Michael is in first place with 47 points. Right behind him, hot on his heels, is Alex on 46. Right behind him in third is Markey with 38. Albert is close behind with 7 points behind on 31. And fifth on 26 is Farth. Dundrees and Forza Ferrari are tying for 6th place with 18 points. In 8th place on 15 points is Mini Sprite. Steve on 14 in 9th. With 10 points in 10th is Mikey. Phoenix and Flames and Richard have all got 8 points, so they'll be tying for 11th. We've got the Munchin Scott and Kieran on 6 points also. On 2 points, Dopey Lemons is in 16th and 10th, 1 point in 17th. No points is Paul's got balls, Danu, Tomo Tip Top and Ristier Death. So this is going to be an interesting race.
I'm back, Lee, and just to add a little bit of a bit more sauce to that spice, there's been a few people disqualified at the start of this formation lap, so not a good start for 3 of the drivers, just into, it looked like turn 2 actually, so they're going to be waiting a little while for these drivers to come through. So Lee, do you want to take it away today?
Yes, no bother. So as you see, we've got Phoenix on pole, Mikey is second, Michael in third. That's going to catch me out most likely. Mikey and Michael.
Yeah, no,
yeah, sorry.
No, I was going to say, I don't blame you.
Yeah, alright, yeah. I think you've done it a few times yourself. But as you see, we've got Alex 4th, Kieran in 5th, 10th, 6th, Dundrees, Paul's got balls, Richard, Tomo Tip Top, Markey, Albert's in 12th, Degal in 13th, Danu in 14th, Munchin Scott in 15th, and Farth in 16th, halfing up the rear. So we've got 18 laps here in Canada. Let's see how things are gonna go as you see everybody is lining up on the grid. So let's see. Most likely be delays there. That's 5 lights. They're out and we're away. That's a great start there. Oh, the timing boards have went all messed up. Again, that's great. Typical Codemasters.
Yeah, we've got a few drivers ghosting, but we've still got Phoenix in the lead though.
Yeah, I'm finding it hard actually.
It's alright, I've got it at the minute, Lee, it's fine. So yeah, Phoenix is in the lead and Mikey is in second with Michael in third. He looks like he's going to make a place here, Lee.
There we go, it's getting up now with Thankless.
And yeah, Michael makes the move for second place and hits the wall for good measure on the exit of the chicane up towards the casino hairpin. And just coming along and just round he goes to Red Bull. He's got a big kick of oversteer, did Mikey there, and now got a Haas looking to make a move on the inside of him. Looks like he's going to easily do that before the braking zone. And the Alpha Tauri actually needs to be watching out of Michael, because he's being overtaken by Alex as well. He's gone straight up to P2 and Mikey's fighting back into P3 as well, Lee.
Yeah, well, you can see Richard is going to make a move. Oh, he has to back out of it. So
would you turn up your mic a little bit, Lee? I feel like you're a little bit quiet.
That.
That's all right. Just like a quarter or something. I see Tomo's made a good start. We'll see who's done the best position gains on this first lap and a half. we've had Albert actually go up 5 places, and Marquis as well. Marquis up to 6th, and he would have been in 11th place at the start. And so Alex has gone up 2 places and trying to hunt down Phoenix now, who has got the lead of this qualifying race.
Marquis just made a move on Richard around the outside of the hairpin.
And he's got Albert right on his tail as well. And Rich is looking vulnerable here. He's going to drop from potentially 5th to 7th, but DRS is not enabled to get the...
Ooh, so Marcus just got 10 second time penalty. First of the bunch.
You've got Albert going down the inside on Richard, and they're going side by side through turn 2. And up the hill they go towards the first chicane, and Richard they're still side by side up to turn 3. And who's going to bottle it through turn 3? It's Richard who makes it stick, and there's a McLaren in the background who's getting a bit squirrely through that chicane, and now down towards the second chicane on this lap. And he's hit the wall, and a big bit of wing damage nearly for the McLaren driver of Clarence. And Marky's been spun round. The other McLaren driver is in trouble now.
Safety car.
Safety car is deployed. So that's going to be interesting. Got Alex going very, very slowly there for some reason. I'm not sure. So Phoenix isn't coming into the pits. It might be wise actually to come into the pits. We'll go back to the tyre situation, and all on soft tyres. Yeah, I think the mediums should go to the end, Lee, win their 25%.
Yeah, I think it would be wise to cross with that. I mean, even if I was on the medium tyres, what I would most likely would do would be try and either go for a set of hards, or if I'm going to be at the back of the grid anyway, just soften them back on the mediums again.
Got some drivers who's gone on the softs. That's an odd choice. Marky's gone on the hards. So 2 drivers on the hards, and Paul is stayed gone onto the soft tyre, and Richard has also gone on to the hards. The top 7 are yet to pit under this safety car, so it doesn't look like they're actually going to do it. So I think that's quite a risky call from this top 7.
Possibly, but
especially on a track like Canada, I think a lot of overtaking.
Yeah, and you're going to really be wanting that traction, like especially out of the hairpin, because it's with it being smooth corner, trying to get back on the power, you could easily lose the traction, and that could be make or break your race pretty much.
Keep an eye out for the Munchkin Scott and F1. I can say you did make up a huge amount of places, but coming to the pits now, but fast, gone up 12 places up to 4th now, so started 16. And has made some serious gains, as well as Albert, who's now in 2nd. But of course, his drivers are yet to pit, and it's the top 6 that's now not pit in this race.
Yeah, so I've got Munchkin Scott. He's on a fresh set of mediums. So I wonder how they're going to help him compared to the rest of the pack. Possibly, but I doubt that. But one of them. We'll wait and see.
We will have to wait and see indeed. So of course, crucially, the safety car is cutting out a lot of these laps, which these drivers need to make up places to get further on. Further up the pack for the feature race in around 20 or 25 minutes time, something like that, and then we'll have a 50% race of the circuit, which will be 36 laps. And I think the safety car is in this lap. The yellow flashing lights have gone off, and I think Phoenix is now maintaining the pace and will get underway once he decides to get underway, of course, when the safety car has entered the pit lane. So we'll just wait for that one, Lee, as he's warming up his tyres, and I think he's already gone. He's gone now, so he's gone a little bit early into the chicane. He definitely has gone. I think he was a bit tentative on the power there, Lee, coming out of the Wall of Champions chicane.
Yeah, he would have possibly.
Mikey in the pits, Lee. Very strange decision there for the Red Bull driver. It's the 2-3 at the moment for Renault. So it's looking pretty good for the Renault outfit. Phoenix, do you have to say, he was having a good, quite a good race last night in LFR, and came towards the end of his race, and he did sort of fall down the order one for just a polite way of saying it. He made a few mistakes, but hopefully he might be able to get right up.
Kieran, I think he's made a mistake because Paul and Kent both managed to pass on that. He's going on to the grass.
Big lock up. Oh, and he's had caused an incident there, and he's hit the wall, and he had an incident with a Williams, I think.
That was the Munchin Scott. I think, yeah.
It looked like him. Munchin Scott's going down the inside on Markey, but Markey holds the position, and Munchin Scott is into the wall, and a Ferrari of Temp is also into the Wall of Champions. It really does catch a lot of drivers out, moving on down to 15 in this qualifying race. Phoenix is looking pretty comfortable in this race at the minute. We've got a train behind him though from from second place actually. There is some sort of a queue here, Lee, to about 9th place, I would say. They're all very, very close together, so we'll have to see how these guys get on the next coming laps. We're at almost half a distance in this qualifying race.
Yellow flag.
That's not coming up on my screen. Yeah, yellow flag's Paul.
Paul, I think he spun there, I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he spun as well. Temp has overtook him and gone into 13th place. Pit window is open for the medium tyres, but I don't think they're going to be doing that. It's about 70% of the grid has already pit, and Phoenix makes a mistake there on board with him out of turn 2. He needs to keep an eye on that if he wants to stay in this rate. Temp retired in the pit lane, so he's going to be starting 15th on the back row with Kieran, and Mikey goes up positions. Paul is in the pits, of course, for his spin just before the hairpin. And Phoenix, as I said, now 2.2 seconds is the gap. Of course, he's on soft tyres. I'm just going to see this battle for third place. Lee, F1 Farth, obviously doing very well last time I was here a couple of weeks ago. I obviously wasn't with you last week, so I didn't think I think he's just a reserve. I don't think he raced last week, did he?
I'm fairly sure, to be honest.
There's some wing damage there. There's some cars going off into the background. Phoenix is in the pits. I did see some wing damage.
Dundrees is in the pits as well.
Dundrees.
He's got wing damage.
Also in the pits. Welcome along, people who are joining to watch this Limitless Formula coverage of the qualifying race of SRM Racing. We're at lap 9 of 18, half distance of this qualifying race. 1 second separates the top two now. Farth on soft tyres. I think he started in around 16th position, I think. Yes, he did. So he's up 14th places. Albert is up 11 places. These top two have really gained from this, but they need to get a move on to stay out of the way of those guys who have already pitted under our safety car a few laps ago. You've got Albert making a little mistake there on the exit of the hairpin. Do you think Farth is going to have a go here, Lee?
No, he's waiting. He'll wait till turn one. Oh no!
They're both into the pit lane. So they're following each other, and it looks like Danu is taking the lead, and it looks like the Mercedes is Stagley is.
I thought Stegel was going to make the move there.
I thought he was as well, and Alex is in third place in the Haas, and followed by Michael. Tomo Tip Top, who we haven't seen for a little while. I saw him at the Brazilian Grand Prix, but obviously he didn't actually race. He was only in the qualifying race that time, but he's back in fifth position at the moment, with the Mercedes still trying to get past Danu at the minute, and Alex also looking to make an attack. Down into the hairpin they go once again. Lee late on the brakes for Alex there, almost getting too close to the rear end of that Mercedes. I'm not sure if Steg is going to make a move into the chicane. I don't think he's got any battery left to deploy, which is pretty crucial, and he goes into the pit lane. You see there, goes straight on and slows it down before the pit limit. He goes into the pit lane. Soft tyres for the Mercedes driver. So Danu still in first place. Phoenix has moved up in position to 8th place. He was our leader for a lot of this race. So keep a close eye on where he's going now, but a lot of these drivers ahead I think have already pit now, Lee.
Give me a moment.
Yeah, everyone apart from Danu.
Yep.
Danu is now the only man not to pit in this race. So Alex is looking pretty comfortable now with his pit stop already done, as well as Michael, and obviously Danu is definitely going to be the cork in the bottle at this point, because he's going to have to pit this lap to make any difference. And down the inside goes Alex into the hairpin, brakes a little bit later and squeezes him to the outside. Switcheroo for Danu at the hairpin, and wasn't able to get the traction on exit on those old tyres, 11 laps old on Danu's car. Richard going past Tomo Tip Top and a side by side down the straight, and looks like Richard's going to have it into the chicanes. He got to the inside line for the final chicane, and up to third place. Danu now into the pits. Everyone has now made their pit stop, or are making a pit stop. Markey up to 5th place. Our pole sitter is now in 7th place in this qualifying race, and he's not too far away from the Munchin Scott, but that's not what he's going to be too happy about that now, Lee.
No, with him starting pole, with him just it just kind of things just went a bit topsy-turvy with the safety car, and it was a bit unexpected, but I think that kind of just threw him a bit off.
I think it did probably throw him off just somewhat, because he's now down in 7th place. Tomo Tip Top is on the rear end of the Haas of Richards, and looking to probably see if he can have a lunge into the chicane. Or he might get it well before that, but he hasn't got a lot of battery to play with. Neither of them have a lot of battery to play with. You see their red lights flashing on the rear of their cars. He goes down the inside, Tomo Tip Top, and he isn't able to make the move stick. Great defence there from Richard, holding on to that 3rd place for the time being. Farth up to 8th before the final chicane. He's trying to fight his way back on these last few laps of this race.
Yeah, but up next is his teammate, who's chasing down the Munchin Scott at this moment. But Munchin Scott's got a penalty, so that's going to play into Phoenix's hand at least, but he's just getting held up. I think at this moment he's on the fresher tyres, so
Munchin Scott's got 14 seconds worth of time penalties, and Phoenix, as I said, our pole sitter, is looking to take that 6th place off him on the road. He's definitely got it on the points scoring positions. In top 7, he's only one of 2 men, and Alex in the lead, who have not got any points to speak of. It is a track that's quite deadly for the track limits, is Canada, with the low riding curbs and trying to extract everything from the I think it's 5 chicanes on the Canadian circuit. Doesn't go for a move into the final one of the 5, and Munching Scott makes a crucial error and hits the wall of champions, which catches pretty much every driver out, and Tomo Tip Top is trying to have a fight with Richard there, Lee, and the Munchkin Scott is losing ground now, Lee, and you can see the two Alfa Romeo side by side, and they've both been spun out. That's really unfortunate, and Albert is now through, and Phoenix, who, as I said, was our pole sitter, is not going to be too happy about that. I don't know why they were trying to go side by side through there, Lee.
Yeah, I think it would have been it was just uncommunicated, I think, just unintentional, but hey ho.
But Phoenix shouldn't quit now though, because he's in 11th, and that's a pretty good position to be at the start of this race. We've only got 12 drivers, with only we're going to be on lap 15 now, and Alex is still in the lead by 1.7 seconds. 1/10 separates Markey and Richard. Markey down the inside on Richard and makes the move stick quite comfortably into the apex, and wasn't able to have the room on the outside was Richard, and he's now down to 4th place with Tomo Tip Top hot on his tail.
So all these 3rd, 4th and 5th are really close together. It's in a DRS frame here. And then we've got Farf with Albert and Dundrees close behind that. Just the goal on his tail. So we've got a few close battles here.
Yeah, we'll have a look at Richard and Markey for 3rd place on the grid, obviously just behind the leader on the starting grid. So 3rd place is a pretty good position to have. Obviously a short run into turn 1, as we saw from the start of this qualifying race. He's not able to get that close just yet. Danu goes round the outside into the braking turn, gets the job done, and I think Phoenix has got some wing damage he's trying to deal with. Farth is going side by side with the Munchin Scott. There's a bit of wheel banging going on there, but he gets the move done up to 6th place. And I'm not sure if the Munchin Scott's going to try and fight back. Quite aggressive on the curbs, clips the wall for good measure on the exit. I don't think he had any damage from that. I didn't see any carbon fibre flying anywhere there, Lee. But the gloves are off in this race at the time being, I think.
Oh yeah, I mean this is where it matters for the time being, is trying to get as far up the field for the main race. As you see, Albert and the Munchin Scott are fighting it out. Albert's managed to get the move on and going into the hairpin, but Munchin Scott trying to switch around, he just couldn't get the traction.
And Tomo and Markey going side by side into the final chicane, and Tomo gets the job done. And Munchin Scott goes through Albert and Dundrees, going side by side through the chicane, and a little bit of contact. Don't any more teammates going through. Stegley is going through as well. Gets a bit of a lunge on Albert, locks up in the protest, and Dundrees is on the inside now against the Mercedes. Go wheel to wheel up towards turn 3. It looks like Mercedes has got the momentum there into the chicane. He does, and there's 4 cars fighting it for 7th place for the time being, with 1.5 laps to go. Gaps are separated towards the front. We got the Munchin Scott, who's trying to defend still from Albert, and Steg is just locking up there into the chicane before the hairpin. Bit of kick of oversteer on the exit, and Dundrees is going to have a look to the inside at this right-hander, and he takes the inside line, but he isn't able to make it stick. Good exit for Stegley on those soft tyres. The Renault sandwiching the Mercedes, but this Mercedes is trying to go through, Lee, and the Munchin Scott is looking pretty comfortable at the minute in the top of this row. 3 wide into the final chicane, and the Mercedes comes out on top there, Lee, for the time being.
Yeah, Albert was the biggest loser in that battle.
Mercedes having a look on the Munchin Scott now, and the 2 Renaults going side by side. It's a great battle in between these 4 drivers. A little bit of wheel banging, and I say that Albert has just lost out against his teammate there. He's not going to be too happy about that. Danu has been spun round. Phoenix is now caught up to the back of this pack. He might have a little bit left in the tank to get these guys ahead. They're all running on quite low battery, as you would expect at the last part of this race, to see if the Mercedes can take that 7th position. As mentioned, it's got sort of 20 seconds worth of penalties, crucially, and 3 seconds for the man behind him. Dundrees off the track there, with Albert going through into 9th place. Phoenix still close behind. Dundrees trying to go down the inside on his Renault teammate, and isn't able to make the move stick. He does make the move stick, I do apologise. Phoenix is now on the back, but he makes a mistake once again. Can this man get a break? I don't think he can, with Steg and the Munchin Scott side by side. I don't know why the Munchin Scott's fighting this so much, with 20 seconds worth of penalties. Goes deep into the chicane, cuts it, and I think this is going to be a drag race to the line, but I think we know who's going to get the 7th place. The Munchin Scott squeezing him towards the wall, and that wasn't great racing there for the Alpha Tauri driver, who's now down in 11th place. I'm not sure if Danny's going to take that 11th place. The penalties were so large, I'm not sure. I don't think he did. Anyway, that was a pretty memorable race at the start.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly set the pace for today. I mean, everyone was out there giving it their all there, so now we're away to move on to the rest in a moment.
Sorry, Lee, what was that, mate? I couldn't catch that. I had someone killing my roof.
Oh, right, yeah.
Sorry.
No, I was just saying it was an amazing race, and it's really set the high bar already for the next race.
It has indeed. So Alex is our pole sitter for this feature race after this qualifying sprint race. Michael in 2nd, and McLaren of Marquis MUFC is in 3rd. Richard is in 4th. F1 Farth is 5th. 6th is Steg. Phoenix is 7th. Tomo is in 8th. Albert is in 9th. Dundrees is in 10th. The Munchin Scott, who got a lot of time penalties right towards the end of this race. Steve has joined the session. 12th is Danu. Mikey is 13th. Paul is 14th. Temp is 15th, and Kieran is 16th, and I think Steve will be 17th in this feature race. So you're looking forward to the feature race then, Lee, in about 5 to 10 minutes time?
Oh yeah. I mean, especially after that action that we're looking for the fortune car.
So we just have to wait now, guys, for them to set the grid. It shouldn't take too long, really. I say 5 to 10 minutes. It's probably going to be less than 5 minutes, to be honest, as we already have the order set out. So we've just got Steve to pick his car. We'll just get the new track in and we'll get started. I said in probably 5 minutes at max time. So, other things to talk about. Obviously, make sure to like, share and subscribe to the channel for more content. Obviously, we've got Wednesday here with SRM. We're going to have uploads from Teatime Friday League that's going to come from Gaz's channel. But obviously, check his live stream out if you would like to do that. We've got Sunday League, got Bahrain on Sunday, and Monday we have Canada as well. So we've got to Canada twice in 7 days, and then on Tuesday we're at China, which we were at on Monday night, so that's with LFR. And then I don't know what we have actually next week with SRM though.
Oh, I was actually meant to check that. We have Zandvoort in Netherlands. So that'll be a classic of a race.
That definitely will. I've never actually commentated on Zandvoort actually, so that will definitely be an interesting one to watch. I don't particularly like racing the track. I think it's quite a good track, but not for racing per se. But
yeah, as I say, it's one of them that's more fun to drive but not fun to race. That's the way to describe it.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that one.
Although sometimes overtaking could be good. It's hard though.
It is hard. It's only like turn one, I feel, that is the prime opportunity for overtaking. There is 2 DRS zones, but they're not just... we haven't been there in real life yet, so we actually don't really know what it's like just yet, but hopefully we'll be seeing it later this year. I'm not sure when it is in the calendar. I think it's after Monza or something like that. But of course, Imola this weekend. You looking forward to that, Lee?
Oh yeah, I've been buzzing for it, to be honest. I was actually buzzing for it that much last week that I thought it was on telly last week. So here I am getting ready. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I go and try and stick it on, and here it is playing Monza last year. And I'm like, what? I'm sure it was on this. Checked my calendar. Sure enough, it was this week. I was a week early, so I was absolutely gutted. But now I know the date's this week, so I know I'm not going to mess up.
Yeah, well, it definitely is on this week, and I am looking forward to it. It was quite a good race last week. I was just thinking earlier, though, Lee, I don't know which team, I'm not sure which team's going to be faster there. I think it might be quite like Bahrain, because the Red Bull and Mercedes were quite equal on pace in Sector 1 and Sector 3, but the Red Bull was more dominant in Sector 2, and I feel like, I don't know, it's a bit of a mix, isn't it, Imola? It's got a lot of straights. Some
straights, yeah, but they're not too long though.
Got a lot of chicanes there, of course.
Yeah. Me personally, I think the Red Bulls might tip it.
I still think it probably will be close though. Hopefully it'll be close all year, like it was in Bahrain. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
Verstappen should have won that still.
He did still have to give the place. He shouldn't have given the place back where he did, to be honest. He sort of messed himself up by doing that, to be honest. He was a bit... He probably could have waited till, before the final couple of corners on that straight, and then got DRS down the start-finish. Would probably have been a wiser choice, but anyway. He definitely shouldn't have... He passed him off track. There's no argument about that. If you would probably feel like you'd have to give the place back on, especially on the game here, because obviously it's to the white line.
Yeah.
So going out all that way.
Yeah, I mean that's the way I'd do it myself. Like if I pass someone off track, then it's not right.
No, because even people were like, but he got past him before. He did that, but obviously he had to finish the move by going out at the exit of the corner. Of course, it's not done until you're in a straight line, are you? And he wasn't. No. So, and of course, he got a lasting advantage from going out that way, because if he had braked a little bit to try and not, Lewis might have come back anyway. So,
still disagree with the fact 29 times.
Yes, I do as well. But it wasn't in the rules. It wasn't in the rules. So
In honesty, I think they should be a bit more
be more
clear with drivers.
Yeah, it's not Lewis's fault. It's the steward's fault for not being clear enough on it. Because if you're going to be sort of in the middle, you can't, can't make one rule one day and one rule the next. It's just silly. I've always thought they should just have no rules for within reason, no rules in FP1, and then potentially maybe some in FP2, but you can change it in FP2. But after FP2, whatever you decide it is, that's it. You know what I mean? Like, you get Friday to explore track limits, and then they'll say, look, you can't do this, you can't do this. And when you go into, obviously, free practice on a Saturday morning, that's it. You know where you can. But, of course, the only problem is with that is if I was a driver, I would be driving around, not pushing the limits, and then after FP2, I'd be like, right. Now I'm going to start exceeding track limits because there can't be anything changed now. But obviously I prefer the old-fashioned grass and gravel because then you just can't do it. You can maybe take your car all four wheels off the track, but it might be literally inches off the track and then an inch towards the grass, and I don't care about that. But as long, but having all the runoff is
the only problem. The only problem was it was a part of the crap further well. So still does have gravel, doesn't it? Barring.
Yeah, not very much so. It does have a little bit, but not very much. But this is why I like a track like this. There are some corners obviously with concrete, but there's a lot of it that isn't. And a lot of it is just grass and obviously walks because it is a street circuit. But it doesn't really feel like one, does it? It's sort of a 50-50.
Yeah, I'd say
it's like an Australia.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen the changes to that?
Yeah, I reckon it's going to be a lot better than it was.
I agree.
I think it's going to be a lot faster and a lot less like a street circuit because there's a lot of room to play with. Like here, they probably have a bit more room to play with here, but I do like this circuit. There's nothing wrong with it, in my eyes. Yeah. It feels like a go-kart track, this track, to me. Do you know what I mean? A lot of chicanes, a lot of straights, a hairpin.
Yeah, if it was on a slightly smaller scale.
Yeah, of course. But you know what I mean? It's like a Formula 1 go-kart track.
Yeah.
It's the closest one. Like Austria would probably be another one, but it's not as technical as this. Anyway, we're going to get underway. We've got two guys on the hard tyres, crucially, Richard and Marky, in the top 10. Are we all good? Lee?
I'm here, sorry.
It's alright, I just heard your mic. Anyway, we're just going to wait for these drivers to form up, which I think they have just done. And we're just waiting now to see what happens. We've got 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And we're away in SRM Racing for round 4 of the Canadian Grand Prix, and into turn 1 they go. And a good start for the Haas driver, and I think we've got the timing boards all over the place. Yeah, Alex is in the lead, and Marky is in second place. Got blue flags as well. I do hate this glitch. Got the Alpha Tauri in second. Not too sure who that is though. Sorry, because the timing screens are all jumbled up. I think it's Michael in second place, and Alex is in first, and got himself quite a good start. How are we doing at the back? Actually, sorry, we've got Ephraim Farth trying to make an overtake here on Richard down the inside. He goes into the hairpin, into the chicane, and gets the move done. Richard clips the wall on the exit. Got the Munchin Scott falling all the way down to 17th place. A bit of wing damage for the Alpha Tauri driver. Got some drivers going down the field again. Dundrees was pushed on to the exit, and Tomo Tip Top is having an incident with him also. Steve is coming through from 17th place on the grid, now up to 11th. Good start for the Red Bull driver.
because Daniel's just made a move on Dundrees. Is he doing it? Oh, he managed to make a stick as Dundrees was pitted.
So Dundrees up to 12. We got 5 drivers in the pit lane for, I'm guessing, all wing changes. I would assume so. 4 tenths separate the top 2, and Farth is hunting down 3rd place at the minute. We've got a big queue behind them. Phoenix is still in his 7th position, and got a few drivers fighting for places here, Lee, especially for this 5th place for the time being. Richard is in 5th, but looking to have to make a defence against the Mercedes, which he's having to. Round the outside he goes, later on the brakes is Steg, and he goes through up to 5th place. Richard down to 6th now, and Phoenix is eyeing up a move also. Albert is up, and we got a glitchy car there from Temp. He's looking to have a look down the inside on Albert potentially. No, he doesn't make a move. Fastest lap for Alex, 1:12.642.
He would have replaced that gap between him and Michael, trying to escape from that DRS gap, which is done. Pardon me.
So,
yeah, he's managing to create a gap there. Now we'll go pull away, hopefully.
Felt like I saw a little bit of carbon fibre there. Danu up to 11th, overtakes Steve. Steve down to 12th. Now 10th going through into 8th place, and now going to be trying to hunt down Phoenix. And into the hairpin we go. Lock up for the Ferrari driver behind the Alfa Romeo driver. And Richard is trying to make a gap, but he hasn't made much of a gap as of yet. Dundrees is going through on Tomo Tip Top.
Phoenix going into the chicane. No, he decides to back out of it. We'll be hoping to get a move into turn 1 coming up here. Let's see, he's hot on his tail. Is he going to manage to get it? No, he couldn't close the gap enough with Phoenix still having the DRS there.
3 tenths separate 4th and 3rd. Eppenfarth is now up to 3rd and trying to hunt down the leaders. Not too far ahead. You can still see them going into the 2nd chicane on this lap. And Marquis has got DRS on F1 Farth. 3 tenths is Phoenix behind Richard, but Temp is also close behind Albert as well. I think we've got 4, maybe potentially 5 cars fighting for this 6th place on lap 4 of 35 of this Canadian feature race, or Canadian Grand Prix. And Phoenix is going to want to eye up a move on Richard. Richard already goes defensive, trying to break the toe, moving from right to left. I think that was acceptable, just trying to break the toe a little bit. Obviously not got the aid of DRS. 3-second time penalty for Temp for corner cutting up that final chicane. 5 tenths separate the top 2. Lee, Michael putting a bit of pressure on Alex now.
Yeah, he's managed to get back into the DRS range and get back into the fight for the lead.
1 tenth separate Phoenix and 10th now Lee. And is Temp going to have a go into the next chicane at the end of this DRS straight? Pretty hard to get that move done into that chicane. You've got to be committed at this point in the lap. You're going to get right close to that wall under the bridge into the chicane. Marquis, 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Is Temp going to have a go into this hairpin? He does. He goes down onto the inside into the right-hander. Brakes late, and Phoenix is getting the switcheroo at the hairpin, but he wasn't able to get the traction on the exit. And even though Temp broke later, he gets the move done, but has no batteries to play with anymore. Lee on the defensive now.
Yeah, hopefully these soft tyres are going to get temp against Richard, but he's gaining the ground quite quickly, managing to make his way quite easily through the field. Phoenix and the mediums hopefully will be going for a different strategy, and that could possibly bring him back into the race.
Crucially, Lee, Markey is on the hard tyres and in 4th place with a considerable amount of battery as well, so he's going to be looking pretty good in this race, not too far behind F1 Fast, really not too far behind, and he's going to try and want to keep quite close behind that Alfa Romeo driver, but not if Steg has anything to say about it. Not a lot of battery to play with, and Markey's just letting him go through there. I think he's just playing the tactics there, just going to take it pretty easy, but he doesn't want Steg holding him up too much, Lee. I don't think we've got Lee for the second. I'm sure he'll be back with us in a few seconds' time. F1 Farth has now got that gap down to 1.3 seconds. Sorry, Steg is only 1.3 seconds behind F1 Farth. 3/10 now separates the top two. Alex is still staying in the lead this whole time. Michael, of course, has got a penalty. We'll have a look at that penalty situation. Marky Danny inside on Steg has got the move complete and keeps that 4th place. Are we back with Lee now?
Yeah, sorry, I had a phone call. As we see Steg trying to make a move on the inside at the hairpin, doesn't manage to get the traction there.
Has got DRS, but I think Marky is going to have to fight back because he's just going to lose all this ground to F1 Farth, and this is what F1 Farth wants for the minute. Well, I say for the minute.
As you see, hitting all the champions there, as you've got damage. No, he got away scot-free, fortunately. But then, mind you, with him being on the hard tyres, with Marky being on the hard, it'll help him throughout the race. He could possibly just do the one-stop, so he'll be just wanting to stay nice and consistent. Maybe let Stegall drag him along for a wee bit.
Yeah, that is true, and Richard is starting to catch up, but he has got Temp right on his tail. Mikey has been spun round, the Red Bull driver, now down in 12th place. Is Richard going to make a move, Lee, on Temp? As Temp got him a couple of corners ago, but he doesn't want to do it just yet. Got some battery to play with. Temp doesn't really, and he's now using that overtake button, and he's going to have to go to the inside. He goes to the left hand side, does Temp, and makes the move into the chicane. Really nice and easy. Yellow flag, sector 1, Temp into the pits. What's going on in sector 1? It's now green. Danu has moved up because Temp is also in the pits. We're going to see Steve go through as well. I don't know if Mikey got damage. He did. He's into the pit lane. Got it stopped just about in time. Dundrees is now going to come through as well. Got Temp just coming out the pit lane. We're going to see if any of these are pretty close coming out of the pits. I think this might be a close one with maybe Mercedes. Maybe no, they're already through, and that wasn't a close battle. Out the pits, 5/10 separate the top two. Got Paul getting out the way and actually causing himself damage, even though ghosting is on, so he doesn't actually need to officially get out of the way. But I think he got away with that one. And crucially, Alex got DRS from the back marker there, Lee.
Yeah, I was watching on board there with him, and I noticed we would have got the DRS.
Oh, and Michael hits the wall again. I don't know if he's got any damage there, Lee.
No damage, he's fine.
It looked like he hit the wall. Yellow flag Sector 3, Paul is out of this race. We're now down to 16 out of 17 drivers on lap 10 of 35 of this SRM Canadian Grand Prix on Limitless DxT coverage. Make sure to like, share and subscribe to the video for more content. 5 content videos throughout the week from F1 2020. Alex is still in the lead of this race, broke the DRS now, Lee, and Phoenix is 5/10 behind Richard, and I think he's going to be eyeing up that 6th place.
Yeah, I mean, you'll have the DRS coming up here, so yeah, you could hopefully get up there. I'm not sure, I don't think he'll be able to make the move going into the chicane. I think he'll still wait until turn 1, judging by the gap, but could be wrong. He's just letting him drag him along for the time being.
He's just letting him drag it along, Steg into the pits, and going to fall down the order. We'll keep an eye on where he comes out. Lee, he's coming off those soft tyres, putting the mediums on. I don't know if he's got a front wing change though, crucially, so he is going to be falling down the order. We'll see where some of these drivers are coming through now. Mercedes obviously at the front of the pit boxes, the first team in, so he's got this whole pit lane to run down before he comes out. He's just got the pit entry line now. I think he's going to come out in 11th place where he is, because Dundree's just coming in to turn 1 as we speak. 7/10, 6/10, 5/10 separate the top 2. We're into the 4/10 now. I think Michael is going to start making an attack, Lee, on Alex.
Sorry, I'm just watching this battle between Phoenix and Richard here. He's right on, Phoenix is right on Richard's gearbox at the moment, so he's possibly going to be making a move sometime soon. And I think that sometime soon is now, as we could see the lights flashing. Sorry.
No, it's alright. Looked like Michael was going to have a go into turn 1, but just didn't have enough to make any kind of lunge or be alongside into turn 1, as Phoenix is late on the brakes into turn 1, late on the brakes again for turn 2, gets right on the back of Richard, and I think he got a little bit of dirty air in the process when he got out of turn 2, as he was had a little bit of oversteer on the exit, but he's alright at the moment. Dundree's into the pits. He might be pretty close with the munching Scott, Lee. We'll just keep an eye on that.
Phoenix has just got wind damage. I think, no, it was
Richard. I think Richard has got wing damage, so now he's going to be vulnerable. He's going to try and have a go on Markey into the hairpin, breaks late, and then there's Phoenix trying to sneak in, and there's a bit of wheel banging between the two of them. Richard keeps his 5th place, but I think crucially he's going to have to pit. He hasn't pit yet in this race, and this is really going to hurt his race, because I think he was probably going to want to go to a soft tyre, and now he's going to have to pit for the medium tyres unless he stays out for a little bit as they all come into the pits. Big lock up for Phoenix. I think he gets the car stopped just in time. Didn't hit Richard in front. That was very, very close between those drivers. Daniel now moves up to 5th. Albert is now in 4th place. 8/10 separate the top 2. Still no change from those 2 drivers over the last couple of laps. Some of these drivers now starting to come out into the pit exits. This is all going to be a fight on pit exits. We see Tomo coming out of the pits as well, Lee. I think it's going to be pretty close between some of these drivers. Tomo just comes out just behind them, and Markey leads this queue of 4 drivers for 9th place.
Yeah, all of them went on to the medium compound there, all 3 of them, so we're going to see what they could do here. You see Alex is coming to the pits. So let's see where this is going to bring him out. Going back onto a set of mediums.
Albert's in the pits and Danu is also into the pits. Temp is just coming around the final chicane. Alex is at pit exit now, and I think he's going to come out in third place pretty comfortably actually, which he does. Steve is now up into fifth, not stopped, started 17th, up to fifth place on those hard tyres. He's looking for a pretty good result. This is going to be close out the pits. Albert just coming out the pits. A few drivers coming into turn one with McLaren of Markey, the first driver, just ahead of Albert. He gets Albert on the hard tyres for the rest of this race. So it's going to be interesting as it's moving on, because I think they are going to be able to get past. But we'll see if Albert can get it back towards the end of the race. Mitchell Scott is in 16th and last. Not sure if he's retiring.
Mark is making a move on Albert, and he's got it done through the DRS section in the middle of the track.
Richard's going to be wanting to do the same thing, and in not too long, not too much battery after that pit stop, as Richard. Phoenix is nice. Nice amount of battery there with 60%. He's using overtake. Richard goes through on Albert. Albert's a little bit of a sitting duck at the minute, just come out of the pit lane on those hard tyres. Oh, and Phoenix sticks his nose in, tries to put off Albert, but nothing doing as of yet. Phoenix needs to make this move into turn one to stick with this pack and try and get away. Looks to the inside, gets a big lockup, and nothing doing for the Alfa Romeo driver. Michael goes through to 12th place. Tomo Tip-Top is in the pit lane. Phoenix second time penalty for multiple warnings. Yellow flag, and I'm not sure who caused the yellow flag there. I'm not 100% sure. Kieran goes through. Tom Tip-Top is just come out of the pit lane and just behind the McLaren of Kieran. They haven't really made many gains in this race.
Sorry, Phoenix and Albert are side by side going into the hairpin. Phoenix is on the outside, Albert is on the inside. He's not going to get the traction. Phoenix has made the move. As I say, that Stegall has just managed to make a move on Steve, going down the DRS straight into the chicane. Also,
and Farth is just coming out the pits now, just exited the pit lane. They're all coming into turn one. Farth is going to be just behind them, almost alongside the Red Bull of Steve, who's still in 5th place, and Farth is got him on the exit really comfortably there. He's going to be hunting down Stegall for 4th place. Temp is in 3rd at the minute. Alex is 12 seconds behind Michael. That was the yellow flag. That's where it all went wrongly. Oh no, sorry, he's had a pit stop. I've just done one of my one of my isms. I don't know what I call it. But yeah, Alex has pit 12 seconds behind Michael. So you're gonna want to see side by side. Yeah.
Farth's got the traction on the outside of the hairpin there, and he's made the DRS. Yep, he's got it, and the guy's got no ERS to fight that.
No, as far.
So that's going to be hurting him for a while.
So a few close battles. Phoenix has had another incident in this race. He's got Danu close behind him in the Williams. Going to have the momentum into turn one. Wasn't able to have a go into turn one just yet. We'll see if Phoenix has any wing damage. As you don't want to start finish straight. Worst place to get any damage side by side goes the McLaren and the Ferrari. That's something we're usually used to in history. And the Ferrari goes through on the McLaren into 14th. Markey and Steve fighting for 6th place, and Markey goes through on those medium tyres and trying to hunt down the Mercedes driver. Danu is through on Phoenix. Is Phoenix going to fight back into the chicane, into the hairpin?
We're going to I'm not sure, to be honest. We're going to see. I think he's going to wait DRS.
I don't think he was able to even attempt it. 10th in the pits.
No, but he got down.
5th place. Michael has also pitted, so Alex is now in the lead, and strangely, Michael's gone on to the hard tyres. That is quite a strange one. We've got Dundrees coming into turn 1, just going to come out behind Temp, who's now dropped from 3rd to 10th. 2 tenths separate the Red Bull and the Haas, and they're side by side. The Haas goes through on Steve. Kieran goes through. Phoenix. Oh no, sorry. Phoenix just sneaks ahead of Kieran and is on the hard tyres. Also, I don't know if the softs can't go this long yet, can they, Lee? Is this going to be a 2-stop race, actually?
I think for most drivers it will be. I think Michael may just get away with it.
I'm saying that, Michael just got a 3-second time penalty. Yes, so this is going to be crucial now, if this is a 2-stop for Alex or not, because Alex, if it's not, he's going to have to do some... He has got a bit of time in his pocket, but he's going to seriously have to time manage for the rest of this race. We're at half distance, or just over half distance, in this Canadian Grand Prix with SRM Racing, watching Limitless DxT coverage. Looking at Alex is pretty comfortable with 7.5 seconds in his pocket. Closest battle on track. He's looking between Albert and Danu. It's looking like for the time being then.
Yeah, there's everybody's kind of spread out a little bit, but hopefully we can see some more battles soon.
Well, we're probably going to have another set of pit stops, aren't we? So we'll probably see some from then on. This is probably going to be our quiet stage, but we've still got this Danu Albert duel in Canada going on here, and he's got DRS on the Renault driver. A bit of weaving, and goes down the inside, goes Danu and gets the move done into the final chicane. Usually if you have the inside, it's usually job done. Albert is going to fight back though, using overtake. He's going to try round the outside later on the brakes. Danu squeezes him to the outside, goes round the outside, goes Albert side by side through turn 2, and he doesn't get the better traction on those harder compound and wasn't able to give him the grip out of turn 2. But good balls were racing there between turn 1 and 2 between those two. The 10th closely following up the rear there.
Yeah, I mean, all this battling between Albert and Danu is allowing Temp to catch up. I mean, he's just outside the DRS range right now.
Just on 2 tenths, and Albert's getting right on the curve, so I can imagine he's got a warning for that. Albert, of course, the only man not to, Alex and Albert, the only two not to have a penalty in this race. Segal gets another penalty in this race. Albert does have DRS, still the closest battle on the track in this Canadian Grand Prix on lap 21 of this race, where these drivers are about to go on to lap 21. Anyway, 10 is getting a little closer on those medium tyres. We'll see if any of these drivers look to pit again. Trying to get a better exit is Temp, and backing out of it actually. Doesn't want to have a go into turn 3 and takes a lot of curb for good measure, and you'd have definitely got a warning for that corner there. And late on the brakes again, just clips at the back, and as you go, Temp 3-second time penalty. He's really trying to push Albert along, and Albert is losing ground now on Danu, and Danu's just starting to get away a little bit, Lee.
Yeah, this is going to hurt Albert as he's falling out of that DRS range. But has he got the DRS back on Temp there? I think Temp may have just passed him past Albert just that wee bit too late. No, it looks like Kent's got it. May have just done that perfectly.
Temp is through into 9th place and he's going to try and get onto the back yellow flag as McLaren. It looks like it might be Kieran. It is. He's been spun round, hit the wall again. The hat of, I think that's Alex, has gone through, and there is Michael, our 2nd place sitter, trying to hunt down Alex. We think he's going to have to pit again in this race, but it will be very much touch and go. Michael goes through because Dundrees is in the pits. Tomo Tip-Top is coming down the start finish now. We've got Phoenix coming down the start finish now as well. This is going to be close between Phoenix and Dundreesley.
Oh, he just makes it out in time.
And still the closest battle on the track is Temp and Danu, and Albert has fallen back just a little margin now. He's going to want these two to fight and try and regain that time back on these two drivers. And these two, as you can see, Temp and Danu fighting for 7th place. And we have got a 6/10 of a second gap between Dundrees and Tomo Tip-Top to keep an eye on. For the moment, we're looking at Temp trying to go around the outside of Danu and giving him a wide line, tries to get the switcheroo at turn 1, which is quite a difficult move to do. Tries to switcheroo again at turn 2, and that time he makes it stick on the Williams man. Dundrees is going past Tomo Tip-Top. Mikey is in the pits, going to fall down the order. Phoenix goes through as well. Kieran is well and truly at the back of the pack, and he's not enjoying this Canadian Grand Prix.
I mean, I've been keeping track recently of the gap between Alex and Michael, and it's been staying the same. So even though Michael is on the hard tyres, he is managing to keep a gap to Alex. Keep it the same sort of. So we could see how that'll pan out later on when tyre wear starts to come into a bit more, whether Alex will have to pack again or not. Which I think he does. Oh, as he's just made a small error. He just made a small error coming into sector 2 there. He just got that curve a wee bit too much.
And he definitely hasn't got away with it. He lost about a second of time there. And Michael went through that part of the track and made all that time up. Temp is making some ground on Danny now, and that's to be expected, seeing as he's on 4-lap fresher tyres. But as I said, we're going to be we're sort of waiting to see what sort of strategies are going to happen now. We're going to have him across the line. We're going to have 11 laps to go in this race, and 21 laps of medium tyres is possible, but that gap's probably going to start getting smaller and smaller between the top two.
Yeah, well, I mean, the tyres, trying to get them to go 20 laps, I'm not so sure it could be done, but I've been wrong in the past, so...
As we said, as we said at the start of the show, this is the softest range in the Pirelli range, so maybe 20 laps might be a bit of a stretch. Kieran has retired from this race. We have 14 of 17 run-ins left on lap 25 of 35 of this SRM Canadian Grand Prix. 6 seconds, 3 second time penalty for Alex now, and that's cut the gap. I was just looking at these, 6 seconds for Michael, so he's going to be happy about that 3 second time penalty. Far though, 12 seconds worth of penalties, and that's I think that's quite rare from F1 Farth actually.
Yeah, I mean, he's usually one just keep it on the black stuff, you know. Not going over the white line, you know. It's a tough one sometimes, especially with this track with the final chicane mostly.
Yeah, the final chicane is definitely a bit of a killer. I feel like strict track limits are a little over strict. I feel like there should be just a tiny bit of margin on the curb.
Yeah, on some corners it should be a bit less, and on others I think it should be a bit more aggressive sometimes.
I think they should literally keep all the corners that are usually, pretty clear on being straight. But like they do in real life, on some corners like that chicane, you should be able to use like the edge of the curb, just for some corners. Because they do that in real life, of course, it gives them a little bit of extra wiggle room.
Yeah, I mean, like they were doing it, and I remember in Austria last year.
Turn
like
one.
they were just, no, not even turn one, but the final.
Oh, 2 corners.
Yeah, they were going right out onto the curb. Sorry,
Alex is coming to the pits. We were right, he's not going to be able to finish the race on those tyres, so he's going to have to hunt Michael down. He has got 3 seconds in his pocket. Marky goes through into second place. This is actually going to be very close between these two. I think Marky's going to stay in front, but Alex on those soft tyres. And Farth also into the pits. Temp goes through. This is also going to be very close between these two. I think this is going to be the closest battle at the pits we've seen, and they're side by side through turn 2 as they come out of the pits, and Farth comes out on top into 4th place. A lot of pit stops going on now, Lee. As soon as it was just dying down, it started to hotten up again.
Yeah,
Alex goes through on Marky into the chicane and gets the move done, but he's not going to have DRS, Lee. Down these 2 straights.
No, that could possibly hurt him, but he's going to have a lot better traction with him being on the fresh softs. Doesn't take too long to warm them up, and Marky's on A mediums.
1/10 separates Steve and Richard. Richard is going to wait for that DRS line. There it is. And Steve going defensive, not giving him the room. Down the inside, round the outside goes Richard. Gets the move done before the end of the braking zone at the apex. He was in the lead, gets the DRS. I think that's a done deal for 8th place for Richard, signed and delivered. F1 Farth, he's got 1 and a bit seconds marking now into the pits. We'll see how close he comes behind some of these drivers. Per exit, he's at now. Stegal, is in 6th and just behind Marky on 1.5 holes, soft tyres. Also, 6.5 seconds Alex has got to make up. I think he's got a 3-second time penalty in his pocket as well, Lee. Can it be done?
Possibly. I mean, it's just one of them, you have to...
It's going to be very touch and go, I think. The only man in this race, Lee, not to get a penalty is Albert, so he's really put in a good performance. Not to be the only driver of 14, not to get a penalty. And I think other drivers, 3 drivers that have retired, I think at least a couple of them didn't have penalties. So he's definitely done a very good job, the Renault man today. Renault were running 9th and 10th, and 4.6 seconds now separate the top 2, Lee. This is going to be a very interesting race at the end of this race for these 2 drivers. Yeah,
I've been noticing that the gap between Alex and Michael's been coming down quite rapidly. So, the question is, will he be able to make it?
Marky just looks like he's just set a fastest sector 1-time DRS on 10th, and on the much fresher soft tyres, so this is going to be an easy move. I think he's going to have to go into the hairpin, the casino hairpin, in just a second as he gets laid on the brakes, and he's pushing the Ferrari man through the hairpin, and goes to break the slipstream just to Ferrari, but I don't think it's going to be any good for him, and he's not going to be able to keep that 4th place. And Marky is now 4th in this Canadian Grand Prix. 2.5 seconds is now the gap to the lead, Lee. I think this is a very good call for Alex. He's really made all this time up. But crucially, Lee, if Michael can possibly keep him behind for a few laps, these tyres may turn out to be pretty even, actually, with 2 or 3 laps to go in this race. Tomo Tip Top just goes through. Phoenix just goes through on Tomo Tip Top for 12th place. So yeah, back to those two at the front there. I think, what do you think? 2 or 3 laps time, these tyres can be pretty even?
Quite possibly. I mean, I can't remember how long the soft spot last, but it was average about 10 laps.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they were stretching them or not, so...
I don't know if they were a fresh set. They would have been a fresh set. So anyway, we're going to see Alex is getting ever closer to the back of Michael. Albert is on the inside of Dundree's wheel bang between the two Renaults. We've already had some teammate collisions between the Alfa Romeos earlier on. Dundree's going to fight back, both of them. No ERS to speak of, but DRS for Dundree's on the medium tyres goes past Alex. As I said earlier, man, not to have a penalty in this race, and Dundree's getting DRS once again. 2 tenths separate the top two now, Lee. We're definitely going to stick with these for the last few laps in this race if this battle is close to the end.
Yeah, I'm watching it right now. It's going to be close. He's going to have the DRS going down into the final chicane.
A little bit more battery to play with as well.
Yeah, I think he's going to make the move. He's going to the inside.
And down the inside he does go, and he takes the lead back in this Canadian Grand Prix, using a lot of curb though on the exit. Didn't get a penalty there. There was one that popped out, but that was for Steve, and Michael has used up a huge amount of battery trying to defend from Alex there, and that is the aid of DRS for you. It's a little bit of a handicap. Definitely not very natural racing, but it is what it is. 9 tenths, he can't get out of that DRS window, Lee. He really needs to stay there. He just is in it. He's just out of it now. But he got there just before the activation, the detection line, and obviously at this activation point, he's able to activate it. He's got to be pretty ballsy into this chicane. He's out of the window now.
Doesn't manage to get the traction. We've been on older hards.
So there's a couple of close battles happening now. There's 3 drivers going to fight for this 5th place. 10 points up for grab for one of these 3 drivers. But we will have a look at the penalty situation, because they could all be a bit different. And I say that 15-second time penalty for Richard, 18-second time penalty for 10th. So it's looking like Stegel's position at the end of this race, with very much potential of that happening. Danu right on the gearbox of Albert, who's now got a time penalty. Everyone has a time penalty. Danu gets the better traction and is well clear before the DRS line. And 2.3 seconds is now the gap. And we don't know if that's going to close up in the last 1 or 2 laps. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case. But the one stop is definitely slower than a 2-stop, Lee.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it could be just that you need more traction coming out of the corners. It gives you that bigger boost. But yeah, I'm watching Richard here, and he is right on the gearbox of Stegall. He is not letting up.
Marky Lee is really close behind Epping Farth, and as it stands, it looks like Marky is going to get that 3rd place from Epping Farth, but can he do it on the road with 2 laps to go when they cross
Sorry to see Stegall and Temper going side by side.
3 of them into the final chicane there, and Richard goes through into 5th place.
Richard gets both of them after they both collide, that was is no damage or any of them, fortunately.
4 and a bit seconds between the top two now. I think Alex is starting to run away with this with 1.5 laps to go in this race. Markey is 6/10 behind Farth. I think he's going to want this third place on the road, Lee.
Yeah, it's more of a pride thing, you know. You want to say that you deserve it on track, regardless.
So he's got 1 and a bit laps to go. They've got around the same amount of battery to play with, but obviously no DRS to play with for F1 Farth, and that could be pretty crucial. We're going to see if Markey is going to have a lunge. He doesn't. He has a look, but he doesn't have a go. He tries to get the better traction on exit, goes down to his left-hand side of F1 Farth. Looks like he's going to go through on the brakes, and F1 Farth rightly doesn't try and fight it into turn 1, but is he going to fight through turn 2? Hasn't got the exit. Stegall up into 5th place, takes 5th off Richard, down to 6th, and Temp looking right on the limit through turn 1, trying to catch up to this 5th place pack just ahead. But we'll just go to Alex, Liz. We're on the last lap. Keep an eye out on these timing screens, but how do you feel like Alex's race has gone as he's coming into the hairpin for the final time?
I've got to say he's driven exceptional, to be honest. He's managed to make that 2-stop work for him, and managed to get past Michael quite quickly.
And yeah, he did, and he does come to win as he does a weave. He wins the Canadian Grand Prix of SRM round 4 with Michael coming home in second on those hard tyres. Didn't work for him in the end, the one stop, and second place, still nothing to be snubbed at. Markey looks like he comes home in third, and he got third place on the road obviously in the end. And just seeing with Stegall coming in 5th, I think he's going to go 4th now. Farth still stays in 5th place. 6th is Richard. Temp is in 7th. Steve, back of the grid, Lee, 17th to 8th. Maybe my driver of the day for that. Getting the points. Oh, he's in 9th. We'll have a quick look as we're just still on it just for a second. And we've got Temp, who jumped up 7 positions. Lee, I'd give Temp our driver of the day, actually. He's running quite a good race.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to say quite a few people deserved it, to be honest. I mean, Richard drove quite a good race as well. Same with Markey as well. I thought he drove quite a good race, but yeah, I thought that was quite a good race, to be honest.
It was a pretty good race actually. Obviously, you were in Spain last week, and Spain sometimes isn't too much to shout about, but Brazil and that race were pretty top draw for me.
Yeah, it was always a lot of action there.
So we'll just run through the final finishing order of this Canadian Grand Prix at SRM. So Alex taking the win, started on pole, took the win. Second place for Michael. Third place, top 3 finished exactly where they started, which actually you don't really see too often. 4th place is Stegall, fellow Scotsman to lead there. F1 Farth is in 5th. 6th is Richard. Dundrees is in 7th. 8th is Temp. 9th is Albert. 10th is Steve. Danu is in 11th. The Frenchman Phoenix is in 12th. 13th is Tomo Tip Top. The Irishman of Mikey is in 14th and was a lap down. Kieran is in 15th. 16th, the Munchkin Scott, who also did not finish, and Paul rounds out the grid there of 17th position, who also did not finish this race. So we'll just invite these guys into the party. Do you want to do that, Lee?
Yep.
Who's the top three? It's Alex, Michael, and Marky, I think.
I don't think I have one. 2 seconds.
Right, so yeah, it was Marky, Alex, and Michael, who I think is left. Sorry guys, we're just seeing if we're going to get some interviews for you guys. Have you, it's Michael F1 2008, isn't it, mate? Hi guys, so if you just all make sure you've got your mics all set so everyone can hear you on this stream.
Yep, all good for me.
Yeah.
Good.
How's it going?
Yeah, good. Who's got their, someone's got an echo on their microphone.
Is it mine?
Not too sure actually.
Is it me? It's somebody's like headphone volume and
Yeah, I can hear it.
Whoever can't hear the echo, it will be them.
Alex, is it you?
Oh, I can hear it, so it's not me.
Oh,
Mike.
alright, let me get up. Let me do it.
Just turn your head down, headphones down just a tad.
Is that alright?
That's better, that's fine.
Perfect. You trying to mute me?
Right, sorry about that guys. So, Alex, well done on your win, mate. How do you think that went for you?
Yeah, well, pretty good from start to finish, to be honest. So, yeah, I think the medium soft worked pretty well because I was pretty quick at the end. So, I think the strategy helped, and I practiced a little bit, so that probably helped as well. So, yeah.
Were you always committed to that two-stop, or?
Yeah, I think I've done Canada before, and I think that works better than the one-stop. So, I just stuck with it, and it worked. So, really happy.
That's good. Is that how many wins you had this season? Sorry, I've only been here 2 of the 4 weeks. So.
I think it's my first this season.
Yeah. Someone sounds jealous. Anyway, well done, mate. Have you got any questions, Lee, about his strap?
Well, when you came out of the pits, well, before you actually went into the pits for your final stop, did you anticipate that you were going to be able to catch him, or was it something you were worried about? Or
He was keeping the gap on the hards quite well. So I was expected to go away from him when I was on the mediums, second set of mediums, but I always thought like new softs versus old hards would be like easier for me on the softs. So I mean, it was only 8-10 second gap, so I thought I'd catch that in a few laps, and I did.
You're quite comfortable at the end as well. We didn't know if it was sort of going to balance out towards the end with the two tyres, but obviously you just had the edge at the end. But anyway, well done, mate.
Thank you.
Michael, commiserations on your second place, mate. It's obviously not what you wanted.
Yeah, well, I'm quite happy with the result I played out, because in the third lap picked up damage on the front wing, so I couldn't really get past Alex that much. So yeah, I'm happy with second place.
So you weren't too confident in doing the two stop then? Were you committed on the one stop from the get-go?
Yeah, I was going to do the two stop. I wanted the tyre life advantage near the end of the race, but my teammate pitted, and I realised how Alex was touching really, really quickly. I thought I'll risk it. Despite having the damaged front wing, it worked pretty well. And when Alex made his last stop, I just saved all my fuel, my ERS, thinking I'd spend a couple of laps defending from him. Obviously that wasn't the case. He got me past me like that. Yeah, I was just putting the car home a second, keeping an eye on Martin's times, because he was not too far behind me himself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was happy with second place, and looking forward to the next track in Netherlands.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, halfway through the race. And Mark, you had an eventful last couple of laps with Farth. And I saw you struggled with your time penalties as well. Yeah, well, yeah. It wasn't yeah, it was a pretty enjoyable race all around. In both races, there was a bit of contact between some teammates, actually, with the Alfa Romeos, and two Renaults collided a couple of times. But yeah, well done on your third place, mate. So it was quite entertaining seeing you with Farth. You got any questions, Lee?
No, I've just got to say, like, that was a brilliant drive from all of you, to be honest. Yeah, there was some good battling out there.
Yeah.
There was some close battles in the midfield, to be fair. A lot. Yeah, no, it was good. I do like the format. So stole it for Sunday night, so it works. It works. It works. No, it works. We had something similar, and then when obviously I saw this, and I thought, do you know what? It works a lot better than what I had going. So if it's something good, you might as well use it. Yeah, that's that is the idea. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us, lads, and look forward to seeing you next week. So talking about Content Friday, we'll have an upload from Teatime Friday League, and that's Hungary, isn't it, Lee? Round 11. We got Bahrain on the Sunday, round 4 of Sunday Night Racing with LFR. Got Monday, we have Canada again in LFR, and I think Marky, you're joining us for that, aren't you now, in the McLaren also. And Tuesday night with me and Lee, hopefully, once again for China round 12 LFR, and then obviously we're back here for round 5 of Zandvoort for SRM. Make sure to like, share and subscribe for the channel, and from me it's goodbye, and from Lee,
Peace out.